What's going on, everybody? My name is Brent, and welcome to another episode of the Work in Progress After Dark podcast. This is a YouTube only version of the show today. And I am here with my good friend Critical Britain. What's going on? It's been a while since we've chatted.
I'm fine, thank you. I hope you've been fine as well. I've been chilling for a bit, been going through a bit of things, but hopefully I can get back into it soon.
Yeah, I've been I haven't seen any videos from you in a while. I was worried that the YouTube god struck your channel down or something. Um, so
Not yet.
that's good. Always remember if you do things with if you ever do anything outside of gaming, make sure that your clips are less than 5 seconds long. But so long as it's gaming commentary, then you should be good. And so we are here to talk about Persona 3 Reload. Now, okay, so let me get this straight. You've played FES, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you played Reload.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've only played Reload, so this is going to be fun. Let's just, first of all, what have you been playing recently? Have you been playing anything interesting?
My last game was Reload because, again, I've been going through stuff, so I haven't been really playing much. But before that, I played 16, like you said, and we haven't been able to chat since I played 16, FF16. So
Okay.
I've kind of been saying on some opinions about that because I think my Game Awards pick got kind of changed because I actually think 16 was the best game that year.
Oh wow. Oh man. Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do half Reload, and then I want to hear your thoughts. Towards the end, we can talk a little bit more about Final Fantasy 16 because I would very much like to hear your thoughts on Final Fantasy 16. I actually recently got done with binge playing Rebirth. I dumped about 150 hours into that because I'm a semi completionist. If I feel like I can get a platinum trophy for something, then I go for it. So basically, my first playthrough of Rebirth consisted of me doing absolutely everything that I could possibly do in a single playthrough. So that way I don't have to worry so much about doing other things in my hard mode run. My hard mode run. Anyway, so what did you think? What did you think of Reload? Well, let me ask you this: is Reload a 1-to-1 of FES?
No and yes.
Okay.
Main story, yes, but there is some difference. Not in the main story, other than like some cutscenes, everything is pretty much the same.
Okay, got it. But okay, so there's that. Did you like Reload more than the original? Because I know that you had some. You said that Persona 3 was your least favorite of them so far, correct?
Yes, that is my stance and still my stance.
Still your stance? Okay. Um I will say that I know that for me, I have Persona rose colored glasses on. It's hard for me to it would take a lot to make me really dislike a Persona game. Like a lot for me to dislike it. So I enjoyed my time in 3. There were some story beats and some characters where I was just kind of like, it's like these characters feel forced.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about most of the cast.
My biggest issues were Strega and Ikutsuki. Those and we can talk about those in a little bit, I'm sure. So what is it about Persona 3 that makes it your least favorite?
I think it's a culmination of things, right? Like Tartarus is probably the most boring dungeon experience
Okay.
I've had in a video game.
Mm-hmm.
The writing feels forced, like you just said. where things don't make sense, characters make decisions that are not within their characters, and I would probably say just the overall writing of the game feels flat. It feels like it doesn't stick to the theme of the game, which is like death and living through, like knowing you're going to die. It just doesn't feel constraint to the themes. Whereas like
Mm-hmm.
P4 isn't about death. It's like this murder mystery game. Yet
Mm-hmm.
portrays death better.
Okay. All right. I can understand that. Was there anything? Okay, so it's funny that you mention uh why am I drawing a blank on it? Tartarus. It's funny that you mentioned Tartarus. I actually, another friend of mine was just like, this was his first Persona experience. This was his first Persona game. And he's like, I didn't like Tartarus. And I'm like, well, Tartarus is kind of it's like, how I view it is it's it's a remake of a game made in 2007. and even as someone who hasn't played too much of FES, Reload definitely feels like a remake of a game from 2007, or was it 2006? I don't know. And I can understand why Atlas would make something as basic as Tartarus back in 2007. Am I making
agree.
sense? Am I making sense with that? Okay.
Yeah, you are. You are. It makes sense because what I call Tartarus is a limitation of the time, right?
Yeah.
Because again, it comes off P2 when P2 did underperformed for Atlas. P3 was this like pretty much game that used a bunch of like new assets. It was like the big risk,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had like a certain budget, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had to stick within that budget. And obviously, Tartarus was obviously one of the things that had to get cut. Well, not cut, but cut down from what it probably wanted to be.
Sure. And so he had a big issue with Tartarus. He found Tartarus boring. Once again, it takes a lot for me to dislike something. I had no problems with Tartarus because to me it was no different than Mementos. Like, but don't get me wrong, Mementos at the end of the day is kind of like this weird trivial task that you have to get yourself through in order to keep up with the game. But the beauty about Persona 5 is that you also had like these hardcore themed palaces that were separate from Mementos. So I told my buddy, I was like, man, you really should have played Persona 5 first because because Persona, like I can understand how Tartarus could rub one the wrong way.
I would kind of be opposite of you. I would want people to play P3 first, because if you like Persona from P3, you're probably gonna be in the series, right? Because again, I understand where you're coming from. Where like, don't you seeing those dungeons and seeing the peak of the series,
Mm-hmm.
from what we know anyway, it would be pretty good to be like, oh look, this is the peak. But I think it's like one of those you like me at my worst, you get me at my best type of situations.
Okay. I can understand that. I could back that. Um I was telling him like, man, Persona 5 is sort of like this perfect mesh of 3 and 4 because 4, each character had a themed dungeon that you had to kind of go through, even though each themed dungeon was very reminiscent of like Tartarus, but at least it was like different aesthetics kind of throughout the whole thing. Um, and like, but Persona 5 kind of brought those two worlds together with themed dungeons and like the generic have to work your way through this in your free time all the time dungeon thing with Mementos. But yeah, so my big issues were Akutsuki. Him being a bad guy didn't feel earned to me. There was no real like hints that it was coming. he just kind of, and his character just sort of seemed there, and then all of a sudden he's a bad guy, and then he's dead. So
Yeah, I think his entire arc is like 30 minutes, which is insane.
yeah, I mean yeah, yeah, and then like Strega is, I don't know, I guess like I can understand like what it is that they, what, I don't know, it's, I wanted to like Strega, but like they were it was just kind of like, oh, these guys are just like, I don't know, I don't quite know how to put it. um I don't know what your thoughts are on Strega.
Strega like a cool concept, right? Because they're people that get experimented on, then get personas, and then those
Mm-hmm.
personas try to kill them, right? It's like this super cool concept, but again, I just think their characters are like weak and would have been better
Mm-hmm.
with better characters, right? Like maybe confliction within getting a persona,
Mm-hmm.
or even like being evil, like full on evil, and using your persona for evil deeds instead of
Mm-hmm.
like your own self gain of, oh, bring the world destruction of the world. Like what?
Now, was, what was the name of that character? The one who dies halfway through. What was his name? Um,
You mean Shinji?
Shinji. Was he experimented on, or was he, or did he naturally? I never could figure that out. Was he experimented on? Was he a forced persona user,
No.
or was he a true act? Did he truly activate it?
He gets his persona when Akihiko and Mitsuru get his persona.
Okay.
But when he kills Ken's mum in a, I think an outburst, I don't know, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then he goes on the suppressants that Strega take to suppress their personas, and it thumbs his persona down, which eventually kills him.
Okay. All right. Um. Well, I mean, it wasn't his persona that killed him. It was that one guy from Strega that killed him, right?
N- I mean that as in like his persona would have killed him because Shinji was at a point where like a month later in the game, if he wasn't shot, he would have died anyway.
Okay, got it. I will say that that part did make me cry. Like that part made me cry. I, um when that happened, because I didn't quite expect that to come. I heard rumors of a character, a party member was going to die, but I wasn't particularly sure who. Um, but that part did bring a tear to my eye. Uh, but I one thing that I will say is I really liked the, to me, and bear with me when I say this, to me, Persona 3 Reload is a great example of what the future of the Persona games can look like. The big thing for me was fully audio voiced confidant social links. Like all of the dialogue was recorded with actors, whereas like in Persona 4 and Persona 5, like if you're doing a social link, they'll be like, "Hey," or "Yeah," while their text is going, or "I know." You know what I mean? Um so it was nice having everybody voiced and you can actually hear their line delivery. That was big for me.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I really hope that's the future. Again, I think that was great. I think one of the things Yakuza's been doing backwards for me is not voice acting everything, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
six in Yakuza 6 was fully voice acted. Even though it was just Japanese, it was still fully voice acted. Never
Mm-hmm.
since it's never been fully voice acted again. So
Oh, really? I haven't played any of those. Are they worth getting into?
Yakuza is an incredible series that I think has slightly fallen off recently, but that's just because I don't like turn-based games.
Oh, okay. Oh, but you like Persona.
Yeah, I know. It's the weird thing. I feel. Here's my thing. Normal turn-based games don't reward you in the way a Persona game rewards you with an action. So one more is the perfect thing for me in terms of turn-based
Oh,
games.
okay. I get what you're
Because
saying.
you know in like Final Fantasy VII, like original, like you hit someone with a fire, it's a fire weakness, it does slightly more damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Persona, you hit someone with a fire and they're weak to fire, they get knocked down, you get another turn. I feel like that interaction from a kid brought up on games which was solely action is a
Hmm.
way more satisfying like turn.
Yeah. It definitely, oh, I yeah, because like you could, like, if you play your cards right, you can one shot everything and then all out attack, and then you're done. No, I like that too. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's
Um
the whole like thing of like in like pure action games, your skill can like pretty much get you through the game without getting hit.
mhm.
And I feel like in a normal turn-based game that isn't Persona, your actions really don't reward you fully. Where you'll be like, oh, this guy has 5% more accuracy than me, he's gonna hit me. No matter what I do, he's still
Mhm.
gonna hit me. Whereas in Persona, it doesn't really care. I have my all your weaknesses. You're all going down. I'm one-shotting you. I'm moving on to the next fight.
um I've been replaying it because I'm gonna get the platinum trophy, and the new game plus is weird. Have you done new game, have you started a new game plus at all?
No, not yet. I was thinking about doing a whole new playthrough on Merciless, but haven't done that yet.
I am regretting not setting it to merciless. I how new game plus works is, it's like how all the other new game pluses work for a Persona game, right? You keep your compendium, you keep all of like your equipment, um, and it, but so I level capped everybody. I got every except for the guy who dies. What was his name again? I'm drawing a blank again.
Shinji.
Shinji. So I got everyone to level 99. Um, and because I was expecting that when I did a new game that I would start at level 1 again. Um, with all of my stuff, right? So I'd have like all my armor and my weapons, so I'd still be relatively overpowered. But how it works is all of your party members go back to level 1, but you keep your level. So here I am starting the game off at level 99. And everyone else is level 1, and I'm just like one-shotting everything. I actually, like, there were points where it's like I'd be fighting a single enemy and I would just guard until, like, just that way it felt like my other party members had a purpose. And I set the game to hard. I went from normal to hard. And I was like, man, I should have set this to merciless, but I'm already 5 hours in. I don't want to do that 5 hours again. Um, but so my third playthrough will be, if I, whenever I get around to a third playthrough, I'll set it to merciless. So that way, it actually feels like a challenge, because the moment I unlock those green doors, everyone's going to start firing up to level 99. So excuse me, did those green doors exist? Okay, what was new for you? What was new in this remake that you liked or didn't like from the original?
Let me try and remember. The red doors in Tartarus are new,
Okay.
like with super bosses in them.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I feel like they get repetitive near the end of the game, they're still fun. There's the super red doors at the end of
Uh-huh.
full clears are
Yeah.
new as well. They're super fun, but then again, I feel like they one of them is just the joke where like it's just one shot kills. Like one just tries to kill you with like one shots,
Oh yeah.
and it's so bogus. And that's my only death in the game.
My
But anyway,
my biggest qualm with Persona games has always been, if the party member goes if the party if the MC goes down, it's like automatic game over. And it's just like, how I see it is like, give me some death throws or something. Like you've got to, like, I have a healer for a reason. Give me a chance to revive him. Like I can appreciate the concept of the story ending the moment that the main character dies, but for the love of God, I've got a healer. Like, I had Yukari on me the whole time because honestly, like, in my opinion, there was something. Okay, and you can disagree with me, but I think that Yukari is the best healer that I've come across in any of the Persona games that I've played.
No, I agree.
Okay, yeah, if you build Yukari correctly, she is super overpowered both in her theurgy and in her healing. It's like, but yeah, I keep my healers on me for a reason. Give me a chance to revive the MC. Give me 2 death saving throws, for crying out loud. Come on. Like I don't know how you feel about that, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, I agree. I feel like it's a bogus way of balancing that they've been using for years, right? Because, like, again, how broken the main character can get. I feel like it's just, again, a bogus way of balancing where they use the main character's death as a way to instant kill fights, because that's how you make things hard, right? You kill the main character, it ends instantly.
Like, how I see it is just like, give me like one cycle. Give me one cycle. If I don't have revival bread, if I don't have a healer, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, it's frustrating. But yeah, I liked those doors too. But the one shotters where they would just yeah, those would be frustrating.
Insta kill dice.
Yeah,
dice that just spam insta kills.
Okay. Anything else that was did okay.
The green doors that you're talking about were also new. That level you up, they're brand new as well.
Okay, they're brand new.
I think the only way you would grind back in the day was either rooms, or I think they introduced something in Fez and in Portable that let you like grind like super hard enemies early.
Okay,
and that was how you'd do it.
Ugh. Okay, the best exclusion in Reload was the fatigue. Thank God. I was so happy that they got rid of that mechanic where, like, if you're in Tartarus for too long, one of your party members is like, oh, I'm not feeling good, I gotta go back. And then all of a sudden it's just like, well, shit, like, I can keep going, but there goes Yukari, who's been healing me this whole time. I'm so glad that they got rid of that. I remember I was the first night that I was playing it, I hadn't looked up to see what was new or what was different. And I was just like, oh, any minute now, Junpei is going to be like, I don't feel good, I got to go back. I'm so glad that they got rid of that.
I can't believe people wanted it back, to be honest.
There were people who wanted that back?
Yeah, if you go through the comment sections of like the original trailer, you can see people saying, I hope they don't take fatigue out the game.
Oh,
that was mind blowing.
Like, fatigue is what kept me like from like, I wanted to play FES. Like, I was like, okay, I will suffer through not being able to control my party members. I will suffer through all this because I feel like I need to play it. But then the fatigue would happen. And I'd be like, oh. And then they'd be out of commission for a day, maybe 2 days. And
yeah, to get tired, it's 2 days.
It's like, I can't believe, like, I get, so like, I have friends who are hardcore gaming masochists, and like, I get it. Like, I get that there are people out there who love a challenge, but the fatigue mechanic, in my opinion, is like, it always happened too early. Like, I'd be like I'd maybe be like 3 floors deep, or I'd get like 3 floors, then all of a sudden someone was just like, I gotta go. Like, it's like, what are you doing? Like, we could keep going. Like, I don't know. Like, so it always felt like I was getting nowhere real fast when I was playing FES.
Yeah, it was probably a thing to stunt progression, right? Because of how like easy it is when you have no restrictions to get through all the floors, right? They probably didn't want you going through a floor in the night, but that's how it is now in Persona games. So.
There definitely came, like, I will say in those early the first section, I would get to like a mini boss, and then I'd be like, okay, I'll go back. But there came a point about a third of the game, a third of the way through the game, where I was just like, okay, here we go. Time for it's like, all right, time to do this all in a single night. Time to do it's like I love doing that. I don't like because to me, I actually have the most fun in a Persona game when I'm like doing real world stuff. That's to me like that's the fun. That's the super fun side of Persona is doing the social links, getting your like your knowledge and your courage and all that stuff like ranked up. I love doing that stuff. That's my favorite part of the Persona games. So getting through a section was always I always like doing that, especially in Persona 5 when I have those DLC personas. It's just like Izanagi no Akami Pikuro, come on. Anyway, who did you romance? Who was your boo in Reload?
I don't really have one. You just do them all just for the story. Trying to
So
get all the content.
you had your harem. Did you is that what you did?
Yes.
You got a harem going? Okay.
Yes.
Nice. Who were you able to like are you going to try to get the platinum trophy for it? Are you going to try to do everything?
Eventually, probably.
Yeah. What was sort of like where did you end the game at? Like how many of the trophies do you recall having gotten by the time you completed your first playthrough?
I don't know how many there are, but I think I have 4 left.
Okay.
I have the New Game Plus one, the every confidant up,
Okay.
beat is beat Elizabeth one? Because
No, thank
I think
God.
it
I'm
might.
not doing that
Oh, it
shit.
isn't.
No. No. I if so I'm old. um and like I'm at that point in my life where it's just like if I can avoid unfun difficulty, I'm going to do it. And I remember fighting the twins in vanilla Persona 5 and I was like I am never fighting a Velvet Room attendant ever again. Never ever again. I think I'm gonna have to do it in Persona 4 if I want to get the platinum for Persona 4 Golden. But I'm very grateful that I don't have to fight Elizabeth in Persona 3.
The only good thing about threes is it's pretty much a gimmick fight where as long as you follow a guide and do everything, and then you use Armageddon, it's pretty much just a free fight.
Will Armageddon one-shot her?
No, she has a mechanic where if you use Armageddon, because she has more than 9,999 health, and
Okay.
she has a mechanic just like she had in original P3. I think she was a fight in original. Where if you use Armageddon instantly, she insta kills you.
Okay.
And in
Damn.
original P3, the fight was even harder because you had like you had an item. Okay, Armageddon was an item in original P3, yeah, and
Okay.
you only had like for a run, and you also had an item that shielded you from one hit KOs. And
Okay.
Elizabeth's fight is multiple attacks, like 4 turns of attacks, then an insta kill. And in original P3, you would do all your 4 attacks. You know she would do a thing because you'd follow a guide or you'd know because you've played it. Then
Okay.
you would protect on that turn where she insta killed you. You would then go keep going, and then you'd get her down to 999 health, and then you would use Armageddon to insta kill her, and that's how you'd win the fight.
Oh. Oh. I might have to try now. I might have to try now. Um Maybe I'll do that towards the end of this hard mode run. Um Even though I'm sure that I don't know if I want to fight her at hard mode difficulty.
As long as you're level 99 with angel armor, you'll be fine.
Okay. All right. I'm going to try.
And
I'm going to
the max
try.
persona, max persona, Orpheus Telos, I think is his name. That persona is also pretty much
Okay.
guarantees the fight.
Okay. That's good enough. Yeah, I think I'm like 3 persona off from completing the compendium. Oh, cuz now like you gave me a sliver of hope. Thank you.
Yeah, she's
Oh.
not difficult.
Okay.
Uh, there's every Persona game has a gimmick one. I've noticed. I think 4 has a gimmick fight where you just follow a certain path.
Mhm.
So does 5. 5's like a double fight in Royal is pretty much a gimmick fight where like you have to hit crits or you get insta killed. You have to do this. You have to get insta killed.
I'm not aware. Are you talking about like the Velvet Room attendants being the gimmick fight, or
Yeah, Lavenza's a fun. It's either a Lavenza or
the
the
twins?
double. They're pretty much a gimmick fight where it's like you had to put on you had to put on Kasumi to like crit them, and if you didn't crit them, they insta kill. They all out attack insta killed you. It was like so stupid.
Okay, yeah, because like the are you talking about the Persona Yoshitsumi?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you had to like there'd be one turn where you can only use physical attacks, and there'd be one turn where you can only use magic, and at the end it was like kill them in this turn or you die.
Gosh,
It was so annoying, bro,
di-
because it would get to a point where you had to get one crit or you were dead, and you would be praying on a crit, and it would be like a 90% chance, and you'd still
oh,
want crit, and you'd die. You'd have to do the entire fight again.
damn those! Oh, damn those attendants! Oh my god! Ah. But no, I thought it was fun. I will say that it was fun. It was fun bullying the Reaper. Like, like, like Reload is the most fun I've ever had bullying the Reaper. I mean, I guess Persona 5 Vanilla bullying the Reaper during like flu season was always good, but you know, it was fun being able to just go and do Armageddon on the Reaper. um, I specifically like I grinded levels in order to be able to fuse what was it? It was Satan and Hallel to be able to use Armageddon. And I remember like running around Tartarus going, come on, give me the card that lets me fuse personas 5 levels higher than me. Give me that card, give me that card. And it never came. It took I think I ran around looking for it for like 3 hours before I finally found it. So that was
I always got lucky with that card. He always just gave it me instantly. And then it kept giving me it when I was level 99. I was like, well, this is useless.
yeah, it's useless once you get to level 99. Actually, I got a lot of my end game personas to in the 90s level to because I was grinding because I was like grinding up to level 99, and I made short work of the final boss. I liked Nick's avatar. I like the Nick's avatar fight. I I I I liked how it shuffled through the arcana, and each arcana had like its own gimmick. I like that. You might think differently, but I like that. To me, it was better than Yaldabaoth, and I guess who would have been in Persona 4? It would have been the eyeball, right?
Yeah, there's like 3 super bosses depending on which. Or no, there's 3 like end game bosses, right? There's the first eyeball.
Yeah.
There's then Izanami, or I think it's Izanami, right?
Izanami, yeah.
Which is a golden, and then there's Marie. Spoiler alert.
Then there's Marie, yeah. But you know, I like the Nyx avatar. I bullied that thing too. Because I was level 99 and I had like level 99 personas. So basically, I think I got hit like 3 times in that boss fight. I didn't give it much chance to hit me because I was always lowering its health enough to where it would switch arcana. So, but
I definitely think Nyx is a cool concept, right? Like all the arcana. I think it's the best conceptual like end game boss. 100%.
Yeah. Like well, spoiler alert, I do like I like just for story reasons, I like Dr. Maruki more than Nyx. But like gameplay mechanics of like the shuffling, I like that more than Maruki. But like there's something like totally emotional and epic about the fight with Maruki.
Yeah, I think it's the storytelling within the fight, right? Like again, yeah, spoiler alert, Maruki using like abilities and then talking to the cast, right? And then the cast, then their abilities getting nullified. That was good stuff.
Oh man, Oh man, I remember beating Persona 5 Royal, and I was just like, I have never once like it takes a lot for a game to make me go to bed wondering going, what did I just play? Like, what did I just play? Like, why do I feel dead inside? Because Dr. And I know that we're going off topic with from Persona 3, but Dr. Maruki poises or like he puts forth um a very interesting question of like, do you live your own life and go through the struggles and hardships, or would you rather live a blissful life but be completely unaware that your life is being controlled? um and it was like, damn, I was like, that is, oh, I don't know, but no. And then of course, like, I was really, so one of my favorite English VAs, Billy Kometz, voices Dr. Maruki, and he passed away last year from colon cancer. And he puts everything into his roles, whether it be dubbing or video games. And his performance for Dr. Maruki really, like, it really hit home. Anyway, so do you have any like final thoughts on Persona 3 Reload? Like, are you gonna play The Answer when that comes out later this year?
I still don't know yet. I don't feel good about giving Atlas my money when when the answer should have been in the base thing, but
Fair enough.
maybe I'll do it, but right now probably no. I'll probably watch it on YouTube.
I've
I
never
feel like I knew and I knew the answer was coming. I might even have said it on one of the shows we did. I knew the answer was coming. I knew it because
uh-huh.
everything spoke to it. Because it was like it was such an obvious cash grab for Atlas, right? And then everyone in the comment sections would be glazing Atlas, saying the answer wasn't needed. And I was like, guys, they're gonna sell you this at premium price, and then they did.
And then they did.
Obviously, it's Atlas. They sell you costumes.
Hey, those costumes are the amazing fan service. Just kidding.
Oh,
Um,
you one sec. You're gonna go buy the new Velvet Room costume they put in a season pass.
and what's going to be a bummer too is in 2 years when they decide to shovel this game out again, it will all be bundled, and it will all be the
It'll cost like half the price. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It was like, suckers like me, I'm gonna go in and be a part of the problem, because I'm definitely gonna buy it and play it, because I've never played The Answer, so um might as well.
Like I love Atlas, but like, come on, man, it's a remake. Come on, man. Like,
I
and like this was like Persona 6. I would understand, right? Selling DLC for a
mhm.
Persona game. Obviously, I bought no, not Reload. Royal probably every time it's been out,
Me
right?
too.
But,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, like I'm gonna support a series and a game I like a lot, right?
Mhm.
But like a remake of a game that has always been touted as always having different versions and never having definitive version. And again, you like hammer it in and go, oh, but guys, we need more money for this game. After it
uh
then sells the best a Persona game has ever sold in the first week, by the way.
that's true. It did. um I wonder if I wonder, like, I'm this is okay for anybody who is watching or listening, when they, this is not meant to be console war nonsense, but I wonder how well it's doing on Xbox. Like, I'm wondering how well it's doing on Xbox. As because I like, and there's some indication that it's not doing as well as people would want, simply through trophy completion, achievement and trophy completions. But like, I'm wondering how many of those sales went to Xbox. It's always a question on my mind. I'm not trying to
Most
be
of
a
them are
console.
probably Game Pass, let's be real.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
Um,
what is it? I think this might be obviously cope, but I feel like the most of the sales come from, especially like first week, come from joint release, right? I think this is the first Persona game that's been joint release, other than no, even Royal wasn't joint release, as in it comes out in Japan and the West at the exact same time. So I feel like this was always going to happen, no matter what console it was on. It could have been PS5 exclusive, and it would still would have happened.
oh yeah. Um, Have I told you how many have I told you how many times I've bought Persona 5? I don't know if I've ever brought this up to you.
No,
Um
but I
but
bought it 3 times. So
so I remember, I don't know, I remember there being just like one day where I was just like, why do I like, I knew nothing about Persona. I knew nothing about it. Nothing. I was like, but like I had seen some clips and I'm like, I kind of want to try that game. And for some reason, and I don't know why, I really want to try it. So I drove to GameStop. They didn't have it. Um they so I came back home. I bought it full price digitally. And this will always stick with me. 2 weeks later, it becomes part of the PlayStation Hits collection, and it was priced at $20. Everywhere.
yeah, that sucks. That sucks.
but then what I did was I had the game digitally, but then I went onto eBay, spent $80 on a steelbook edition, a used steelbook edition. And then so there's two vanilla Persona 5s that I have, and then I of course uh I of course bought Royal for the PlayStation 4 when that was released. But I bought the collector's edition. I don't know if you can see it back there, but I bought the collector's edition. I have like a shelf dedicated to my Persona stuff. But I bought the collector's edition, and then I was another one of those suckers. I bought all of the DLC Persona. And then of course I bought it again for the PlayStation 5, but I also bought I don't know if you can see the chest. I don't know if you can see the chest. It's underneath my blue Persona 3 box back there. But
I can kind of see it. I can see the mask next to it.
I have the collector's edition, the big collector's edition for Persona 5 Royal when it was re-released on PlayStation 5. And then of course I've got the big I bought the Aegis edition of Royal. I don't know if this was quite worth the $100 I spent, but I'm a sucker for all things Persona. So there's that.
I don't want to say this, but does it feel good that you don't have the answer in that?
Like I said, yeah. No.
So outrageous.
When I found out that they were going to be doing that, I was like, "Aw." I was like, "Why is there not any deals?" Yeah, no, yeah. And then about a year ago, was it a year by now? Yeah, I don't know when it was, but like about a year or so ago, are you familiar with the website called Limited Run Games?
Yeah.
I bought the collector, the physical version, ultra $350 US collector's edition of Persona 4 Golden. For that, so I'm very excited to get that sometime this year whenever they decide to push it out. Anyway, so yeah, I did enjoy Persona 3 Reload. It's Persona 4 is still my favorite out of those. I just really like that cast in Persona 4. I didn't realize this, but in Persona 4 they go to Tatsumi Port Island. Like I didn't realize that until I was watching the anime the other day. The Persona 4 anime is really good, by the way. I don't know if you've ever watched it.
And they all go get fake drunk in the club.
That's right, they do. But they were playing just Persona 3 music throughout the no, you want to know what made that, sorry, I keep getting scatterbrained, but you want to know what made that $100 Aegis edition worth it? I got the full soundtrack. I got the full soundtrack that I can listen to in my car. It's dope. But anyway, no, yeah, Persona 4 is still my favorite. So
I don't know where I'd put it in my list, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
P4 is like I have conflicting opinions, right? Because obviously the rumor is after P6, I'm assuming P4 is getting remade, right? Free money after the all.
I know,
And
right?
it's like I feel like for me, it goes, what do I prefer most, right? And it's like music got upgraded in this version. Animations are stunning. Same
Mhm.
with visuals, stunning. And I feel like P4 put in that engine, best Persona game, not even close. Unless P6 is obviously better. But
Sure.
I think it goes for me P5, P3, R, and then P4. And if P4 gets a remake, it'll probably be the best. Like undoubtedly. I think
Oh, sure.
The writing in P4 is too strong, and
The
even the themes of like even the, uh, I think it's Inaba, right? Or is
Yeah,
it not Inaba?
in Inaba, yeah.
I think that even that I like that area is probably the best as well.
Oh yeah. The only thing that would bum me out, the only thing that would bum me out about a Persona 4 potential Persona 4 remake is the replacing of the cast. Um
Same.
like it's such a good cast and it's filled to the brim with like some old guard members of like video game and anime voice casting. It's got like Yuri Lowenthal, it's got like Laura Bailey, um Sam Riegel, who's Teddy.
Troy Baker's there as well. Isn't
Troy Baker is
he?
the
He's not
voice.
coming back. Let's be real. He's not coming back. They
Oh
ain't paying
man,
him enough.
it's like I know, right? It's like, come on, bring him back as Kanji because like Kanji's dope. Um, and then of course like Johnny Young Bosch as the MC and Adachi. So it's like bring them all back. Like I was
What is it?
honestly I was hoping that they would bring back the original cast for Reload because like because the original Persona 3 had some really great old guard voice actors in it too. I mean, Yuri Lowenthal was the MC in original Persona 3, which would have been pretty dope to see him come back and do that.
Yeah, I think that's a sign for me. Whereas like P4 is not going to have the same cast, sadly.
Yeah.
Because if they would have wanted Yuri, he would have been in P3. Because again, I don't want to sound elitist, but the new cast, other than a few, definitely sound like knockoffs. Like Yukari just sounds like a straight knockoff of like her original voice actor.
Oh
I don't know
yeah.
where if I don't know whether that's Atlas wanting that or just her inflection as a
And
person.
even to some extent like Zeno Robinson, he's a great voice actor, but the thing is he sounded too much like Vic Mignogna for Junpei. He did. Uh and at that I mean I can understand why there'd be some reservations about bringing Vic Mignogna back. But if I'm even pronouncing his name correctly, but I did like Alex Lee as the MC Pharaohs and Nyx. I did like him. I think he did a good job there. And then who else? Alejandro Saab for Akihiko.
For all
Right.
the for all the shit he was getting at the start, I think he does a fantastic job.
Who
When everyone was Sab for
Saab?
Akihiko,
Hmm.
because everyone at the start was like, "Oh, it just doesn't sound like it." I think he did a fantastic job.
Oh yeah. Um yeah, I think he killed it. And then of course, I forgot who voices Shinji, but I think the guy who did Shinji did a really good job as well. Um and then I'm a big fan of Damon. I think his name is Damon Mills, and he did the voice of the lead guy for Strega, the one with the pistol. But he's the current voice of Frieza. He took over Frieza. And he also is the voice of one of my favorite characters on That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. But okay, let's so that way I'm not keeping you up too late. Let's move on to. I would love to hear your thoughts on Final Fantasy 16.
Okay. Final Fantasy 16, eh?
Just lay it all out. Just give it
Hmm.
to me.
Oh, this is. I don't want to say it because obviously people have opinions, right? And
Sure.
people won't agree with this opinion, but I think it's the best action game ever made.
You think it's the best? That is that is
High praise.
that is some of the highest praise I've ever heard for any. I mean that like the best action game ever made. Like holy crap, that's like that's huge. So explain to me how you came to this conclusion.
I think for me, it comes from years of playing action games, right?
Hmm.
And I'm gonna say this at first. If you are a Final Fantasy fan that wants RPG, Final Fantasy. This 16 is not Final
No,
Fantasy RPG,
no.
and everyone should have went into it the mindset everyone originally went into it when they saw the trailers. Devil May Cry Final Fantasy.
Hmm.
Obviously, I think Itsuno said some stuff that made it fit. Not Itsuno, sorry. Yoshi P. Sorry, my bad.
Hmm.
Yoshi P. Dragon's Dogma on the mind. Yoshi P said some stuff about RPG Final Fantasy before coming into this. Like he had that slide where it's like, "Have we taken RPG out of Final Fantasy?" And he goes, "No." Right, and evidently he probably did. But uh, caveat aside, I feel like the action game essence from the original Devil May Cry action game director is there. The abilities, Shiva's Frost being this like giant, massive blast of like,
Hmm.
it just feels so satisfying to pull off extremely cool looking combos on like these demigods of like
Hmm.
fighting beings.
No, yeah. Um, I will say that like I actually put a review out for Final Fantasy 16 last year, and I I was among I okay, let me preface. I like Final Fantasy 16. Is it what I would have liked from a Final Fantasy game? Not quite. But I think that there is more to Final Fantasy than just being a JRPG. And uh I think one of the biggest thing for Final Fantasy for me is like it's just got to be over the top. It's just got to be over the top. And Final Fantasy 16 was over the top. But like I love doing the mixing and matching of materia. I love like putting on the right gear for whatever build that I'm doing. I love sitting there for 30 minutes and going, do I want to put this on Red 13? Do I want to put this on Tifa? Do I want to put this on Aerith? Like, will it work? Will it? And so naturally I got that with my rebirth, but like, I was bummed when I didn't get it in this game, but it didn't, although it mildly affected my enjoyment of the game, it did not keep me from disliking the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, and I think like Clive and Jill, like that's some good love story right there.
Dude, I could yap on ages about the writing of this game. I feel like again, I've said this for a while. Whoever's decision it was to make icons people is a genius on another level.
um and I think one of my favorite parts about it was the toll that it puts on the body, and that it's not this blessing that people get. It's a massive responsibility and undertaking that will kill you early.
Yeah, and like everyone with the power to summon is like a slave. Like, oh,
Yeah, it was. Now there is a game that you should go in platinum. I don't know how big you are in trophy and platinum hunting, but like that is one that I'm eventually going to go back and replay to get the platinum, because you have to replay it on like hard to get the platinum. Um,
no,
but
but yeah, 16 for me. Like people say it falls off after the half, and it's like the Bahamut fight is literally the half of the game, bro.
like I loved every minute I spent in Final Fantasy 16. Um, I liked how despite there being some this despite sometimes every okay, let me try to see if I can find the right way to say this. There usually would be like this long conversation when going and talking to somebody to get a side quest. Like you'd go and you'd talk to this person, and it would be like this long dialogue heavy conversation before you actually got the side quest. At the end of the day, I like maybe in the moment I'd be like, okay, I'm ready to go do the side quest. You can stop talking now. But like when the game finally ended, I was just like, I'm glad that I listened to every single NPC talk in that game. I'm so glad I listened to all of them talk, and I'm glad that I got to hear their stories. Like, yeah, no, yeah. 16 was great.
Yeah, I think I feel like the PC version is going to do a lot for that game because again, I think the FPS is the only thing I actually like really dislike with the game. I
Yeah.
think
Oh, go ahead.
if this was like PS5 Pro, PS6, and it ran smoothly 60 FPS, oh god,
I said it. I think I played it at 30 frames when I played it. I'm not one of those. I get used to it. It doesn't bother me. Do I prefer to play my games at 60 frames per second? Sure. Is it going to bother me to the point where I'm going to go on the internet and scream about it and be like, I'm never going to play this game? It is like if I have to play it at 30, like, no, like 30 frames doesn't bother me. And especially if there's like, because I knew that there were frame rate issues with 16, I played the whole thing at 30. Did you play it in performance mode?
yeah, I feel like the essence of an action game is 60 FPS.
Fair enough.
And well, try to get the best result. And in some parts it was perfectly fine, and in some
Mhm.
parts it was actually horrible. Like there's a part at the start of the game in the swamp, and it's just horrendous FPS, and it's like, god damn, I wish this game was like held back at least a few extra years, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't, I played Rebirth at 60 and I didn't have any kind of issues playing Rebirth at 60. That nothing felt sputtery or anything like that. Um I will say in Final Fantasy 16, Marlboro that you fight in the first chapter of the game, that is the easiest Marlboro you'll ever fight. It's the easiest one you'll ever fight. All other Marlboros will turn you into a frog and then eat you. Yeah. um, are you gonna get the Rising Tide? Are you gonna play the Rising Tide DLC, or are you gonna boycott that too?
Uh, it depends.
It,
I probably, unless I get a leak or someone says a leak about it being in like a definitive edition with an upgrade for like maybe the PS5 Pro or something like that, and I'll probably wait.
mhm.
But I haven't got the current DLC that came out during the Game Awards, and I haven't thought about getting a Rising Tide yet. I think I'm probably gonna wait for performance to come out, and if
Mhm.
it has like decent performance, I'll probably get it because I think at the end of the trailer of the recent one, it hints that the ending's gonna be different when you get Leviathan, so that'll
I've
probably be a
I've
big
heard
reveal.
differently. I've heard I've heard that the ending doesn't change. That going and getting Leviathan just builds upon the world.
What is it? At the end of the trailer, there is a room that looks distinctly like the room where, spoiler alert, all the Ultimas rush together and where Joshua dies.
Hmm.
That room looks the exact same, and he has like wings coming down, and he looks like a full powered up. Like when he absorbs Ultima to get the power, he looks like actually like full powered Clive. So
Okay,
that's my hint.
I might have to go back and rewatch that trailer. I might have to go back and rewatch it. Um,
But then again, that's sort of a theory, right? It could literally just be like Leviathan fight.
yeah, I don't. I do have that DLC pack ordered. I don't know when I'll get around to playing it. Um, I'm playing Dragon's Dogma 2 right now. And then I've got Rise of the Ronin, and then I've got Stellar Blade. So I don't know when I'm going to get around. And of course I'm about to dive into hard mode of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, so that'll keep me busy for another 100 hours or so. Um, ah, do you ever
Too
do
much on
hard,
the mind.
huh?
I said too much on the mind.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the thing is, like, the platinum trophy for Rebirth is going to be probably one of the hardest platinum trophies that I'll ever have to get. So like hard mode is just the beginning of like the really hard stuff that I have to get through to get the platinum trophy. Um, but I've done nothing but talk shit to my friends about how easy hard mode is, and now I have to follow through. Um, it's the secret bosses. It's the secret bosses. Have you played a remake? Have you played Rebirth? Have you played any of those?
I've played remake, but I haven't played the super bosses, and even on hard. So
Okay, so Chadley, of course, has like at the training simulator. Chadley has like ultra hard, insane like challenges. So those are what I have to do in Rebirth now. After doing hard mode, I have to do those. In any case, we're coming up on an hour. We're at an hour here. Do you are you looking forward to anything? Like what's got you excited these days before we wrap it up?
this is a tough one because I actually don't think there's anything like
Okay.
until the rumored Metaphor date. I don't think there's anything exciting me. I think Metaphor is the next big game I'm probably gonna buy and actually care for,
Oh
unless
man,
something comes out of nowhere and is like, this is it, right? Unless like a rumored game comes out earlier than expected or something like that.
what would that rumored game need to be?
I don't even know at this point. Like truly.
I was like, honestly, like I was telling some friends that is like, like, yeah, there's going to be some other really interesting games that come out this year, but this year, like when my PlayStation Wrapped or whatever that thing is that they send you at the end of every year, when that comes out, it will be like 300 hours in Rebirth, 200 hours in Reload, and maybe 50 hours in everything else. I am playing Dragon's Dogma 2, and I am enjoying that so far. So I'm sure that that'll be another like close to 100-hour game for me. But I just see myself playing just tons of Rebirth, Reload, and even Dragon's Dogma. I am surprised with how much I'm enjoying Dragon's Dogma right now. Like really surprised.
Yeah, Dragon's Dogma 1 is like really good. Like really good.
Yeah.
It's just for me, Dragon's Dogma 2 just looks too much of like the original.
Mm-hmm.
And then the FPS concerns have got me like off the game for a bit.
That's right.
Eventually
It's
I'll
locked
probably
at 30.
play it, but
Yeah,
it'll
it's
probably
locked
be
at
a
30.
fun game because again, Itsuno and the Capcom action team are phenomenal at their job. So
Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying. To me, I like the level of freedom that it gives you. I do like how you're not locked into a single vocation and you can rotate through them. I mean, I started off as the thief, and I'm going into archer, which I'm realizing that I'm only like 10 minutes into archer, and I realize that ranged anything in that game is too overpowered.
yeah, it's just like the first game. The most overpowered class was like, I think it was it wasn't the thief. It was like the rogue. It was the rogue. 'Cause they would have a bow and they would have like these daggers, and it was so overpowered. Like it was insane.
Yeah, I don't think they have that in this one. It's just like there's just the thief, and then there's the archer, and the thief has daggers. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Where can folks find you at?
Well, you can find me at YouTube at Critical Britain. I do sometimes, I guess now, because I haven't uploaded in a while. I upload videos on the gaming industry. We'll probably be uploading one about Xbox soon, because I think what's happening over there is actually a travesty, and I can't believe people are sticking up for it. But yeah, find me at Critical Brain at YouTube. Thank you for obviously having me on again. I really appreciate this stuff.
Of course.
I think you're a really cool person.
Yeah,
and I can't
you
wait
too.
to hopefully talk to you more about other things that happen in the gaming industry.
Oh, when we're done recording here, I want to poke your brain about Xbox.
Always three.
Anyway, and then as for me, for those who have stuck around and listened, thank you very much. You can catch us here every weekend with a live show. This one is pre-recorded, no problem. Might do some gaming this weekend. Do you have Helldivers?
No. Sorry.
Okay, it's all good. Anyway, I don't know when my next big video will come out, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in. Appreciate it, and we will see you all on the next one.
See ya.